Howdy, guys, and welcome to Cliff Notes, and welcome to night 52 of the Overnight Feed recaps for Big Brother Season 25. A good Saturday morning for y'all. Hope y'all are all doing fantastic, ready for a little college football and a fantastic weekend. All right, let's talk about what happened last night inside the Big Brother house. It's kind of a weird situation since we don't have an HOH or veto competition or a veto ceremony to be had. I'm worried it's going to make for a long week as we wait for Thursday to find out which of these two is going to be able to survive, get back in the house. But we do have some information about that we're going to talk about. We certainly had a lot of conversations, enough to the point that a lot of them were just rehashes, repeats of the same stuff over and over again. How do I summarize all that without going on for hours and hours, which I don't want to do? So I tried to trim it down as best I could, and we'll get into all that. But just as a little bit of a summary for what did happen last night, Cameron pitching to a lot of people about how he could be part of the team. He could help go forward, that he just wants one more week. He just wants to be on jury, that he can actually help people moving forward. Jared, on the other hand, a little mad, a lot of complaining, a lot of sulking, a lot of blaming everyone on getting where he is, blaming a lot of people other than himself. So yeah, Jared had a little bit of a rough day yesterday. And it does have, talking about the competition to get back in Thursday, it's sounding like this is a multi-round type competition of some sort. They've had at least a couple of rounds, it sounds like, and Cameron has a lead on it to the point that Cameron's going to get to decide whether or not he wants to compete in a competition on Thursday. If he chooses to compete, he succeeds at whatever this is, he stays. If he fails, Jared goes home. But it's up to him to decide whether he wants to do the comp or Jared wants to do the comp. He's going to do the comp. It sure sounds like it. And so we'll talk about that as well. So there you have it, guys. A lot of pitching, a lot of complaining, and we're all just waiting until Thursday to figure out who gets back. And it's going to be a long week. All right, let's talk about the feeds themselves. And again, I've tried to trim this down to some of the more relevant key points that took place overnight. We'll start off with Blue and Cirie talking. Blue is saying that Felicia has been trying to make alliances with everyone in the house except for Jared and Cirie. So she's certainly trying to get in as tight as she can with Cirie even mentioning that. So throwing Felicia under the bus a little bit. She's also saying that she didn't tell Jared about this because she didn't think that those talks were going anywhere. That Felicia talked to her, to everyone. And that, yeah, I didn't tell Jared because it doesn't mean anything. It's just Felicia, trying to figure out something that's going on. Also trying to cover up a little bit, defend herself after having Jared griping at her so much for not fully revealing what she knew. So we got that. Now, with that conversation, it certainly seems to me more and more obvious, as though it wasn't obvious already, but even more obvious, that Blue's on board with Jared and Cirie. This talk about her being upset and maybe sending him out the door. Remember, she told Cirie and Felicia at one time, "Oh, I'll cut Jared when I need to. I want to do it during my HOH." Yeah, I'm not buying it. She knows that she has protection with these two, and so she's trying to do what she can to get in even tighter with them by having these conversations with Cirie. Blue's also talking about the fact that she does not trust Corey in America. She does say that if Jared goes home, she'll probably suck it up and work with them because she doesn't feel like she has any other choice, but she does not trust them. And hopefully if Jared stays, instead she's going to be working with him and Cirie. That's the direction she really wants to go. Cirie is agreeing to this and listening to this. And Cirie's also talking about how much she had trusted Matt before Thursday, how that was just difficult, and that she wants to talk to Matt a little bit as well. So that's one conversation we had. All right, we have talking about throwing Felicia under the bus a little bit. So we've got Felicia and America talking to each other. A lot of Cirie bashing, and I want to go into all the details because it'd take too long because they talked about Cirie quite a bit. Certainly not too happy with her, and they're just feeding each other as they do this. But America is saying that Cirie had told Matt that Felicia was the next target right before Cameron won HOH. If Cameron had won that HOH, Felicia was going out the door. It seems like it's been a while, but I kind of recall that, yeah, that kind of was the plan. Cirie was ready to get Felicia out. So America is letting Felicia know that, yeah, no, you were already, Cameron actually probably saved you a little bit just by him getting that HOH. So that she tells her about that. Felicia is saying that when Cirie and Jared and Izzy thought Felicia was going home, that they began pinning everything on her, blaming Felicia for everything that they had been behind. And so she's telling America, saying, yeah, I'm getting all the blame just because they thought I was going home. They just wanted to do it. Well, we saw some of that already. They've been putting a lot of blame on Izzy in the same manner that Felicia's talking about they tried to do with her. America is telling Felicia, saying, look, actually, Felicia said, what does everyone else think about Cirie? And America's saying, no one in the house trusts her. At this point, no one does, Felicia. We're past that point. There is talk about a Final Four agreement. I'm not calling it an alliance because not everyone's on board just yet or has agreed to it, but a Final Four agreement that would consist of Felicia and America, and then Corey and Nicole. So two groups of two. And they're both thinking that could work well going forward for their game. We'll see. I don't think, talk about alliances that aren't going anywhere. I have a feeling this is probably one of them. But short term, who knows? We'll see. All right, we've got Cameron pitching to Matt. Again, he did a lot of that yesterday. He's talking about the fact that he had one target. He had Izzy that he was trying to get at, and he got her out at this point. And he said, that's it. I just wanted her out. At this point now, I want to come back in. I'm ready to work with y'all. He's telling Matt that he really wants to work with Matt and Jag and that whole side of the house. That's who he's on board with. And Matt saying, look, if you survive this week, then yeah, we'll work together. We're fine with that, Cameron. So they're both talking about envisioning a path going forward where they could maybe do something, help each other out in the rest of the game. All right, we've got Cirie and Matt talking at one point. And then remember, Cirie just got through saying a little earlier how much she had trusted Matt. Matt actually got picked by Jag to compete in the as his champion for veto. Matt wins veto and then basically lets Jared go home by not using the veto. So he kind of burns Cirie a little bit. So they're talking with each other. They're trying to smooth things over. Cirie is talking about how much not her. Now I guess it's a foregone conclusion. Is that the right? I think that the assumption is that Cirie certainly trusts Matt, but she's focusing on Jared and saying, look, Jared trusts you so much. She's saying Jared probably trusts you more than he trusts me, even, Matt. You know, y'all are tight. I just hope you understand that. And so, yeah, it kind of hurt when you did that, but it's a game. You have to do what you have to do, but just know that Jared is with you. He trusts you so much, Jared. At which point, Matt is talking about wanting to save Cirie. A little pet sitting here. Y'all hear? Yeah, I got a little dog with me this evening. All right, Matt at this point is talking about wanting to save Cirie. He's saying, look, I didn't use a veto because you would have gone up, right? It would have been you, Cirie, and I didn't want that. I want to work with you. I was in a bad position, and we've heard him say that before. So he again is explaining to Cirie what went on with that veto, and he tells her, he says, it was a horrible position. I almost wish I didn't even have the veto. He said, but I'm a fighter. I'm a competitor. I'm not going to throw the veto. I want it, and I have to face it, but I did it to save you. All right, we've got Corey talking about, talking to Bowie. Corey's telling Bowie how badly Cirie's side has talked about her, that they've made fun of her. I think Bowie Jane's aware of that as well. But yeah, Corey is saying, yeah, they've been treating you bad, Bowie. I hope you understand that. All right, we've got Nicole and Bowie talking to each other. Nicole wants to make sure that Bowie doesn't feel bad about the HOH competition and the way it went. Now, remember, Nicole was the first person to start that competition. She picked Bowie Jane. So she put basically Bowie Jane in a position of going out first. Nicole, as much as she wants to ride the middle, the picks that she made during that HOH competition made it pretty clear that she was a little bit more kind of this brown sugar babes and all that, a little bit more on that side. So she's talking to Bowie and saying, I just want to make sure that we're still good after that happened. Bowie Jane just says, yeah, you know what? I learned a lot in that competition on Thursday. Yeah, you did, Bowie Jane. So she mentions that. All right, we've got Jared and Cirie talking. They talked a little bit. Jared was a little down in the dumps. So Cirie spent some time, a mother cheering up her son and getting him all back in the game, so to speak. A little pep talk here and there. But Jared and Cirie are talking. They're blaming their current situation on Izzy, on on their attempts to save Izzy. They're saying, oh, she just played, the way she was playing, it made us big targets. And then we tried to save her so much, and that just made everyone come after us even more. It's all Izzy's fault. It's not anything to do with us. It's Izzy's fault why we're the targets in the house right now. All right. We've got the feeds cut a little bit for a little while, not forever, but the feeds cut for a little bit. We come back and just a little after that, Jared is crying in the comic room. Not heavy tears, but certainly not looking like he's having his best day. Cirie and Felicia are in there trying to console him, and apparently they must have had the last bit of this competition. He and Cameron, as I mentioned at the beginning, have had one, two, I really don't know how many rounds of this is, but they've been competing to figure out who's going to have the say on who decides to play or not play in the competition on Thursday. Apparently this competition involved a giant shovel with zombie balls that they had to put in the head of the shovel, fill up the shovel with, but it's a big seesaw that you had to walk back and forth on. I don't know, something like that. We may see some of that on Tuesday. Remember the special episode on Tuesday instead of Wednesday. We may see some of it on Tuesday, not even sure. But anyway, they had, I guess, the final round of that. Cameron must have won. So now he's the decision maker come Thursday on who gets to compete. And we keep hearing it's going to be a puzzle. I don't know that they've been told that, or they're just aware enough of Caitlin Herman and her puzzle to get back in the house that they're assuming that. I just don't know. But we hear a lot of talk about some kind of speed competition and puzzle and all that. But Jared not happy that he's just going to have to sit back and let Cameron make that decision. The decision getting back in the house may be out of Jared's hands at this point. So he's not happy at all. So he's getting a little bit of a pep talk from Felicia and Cirie. So we've got that. Jared, while he's in there, he's also pitching to Felicia why staying in the house helps her game, making sure she understands it. She really needs to hold on to Jared. Now, she doesn't have any say in it either, but with the assumption that she stays, I think he wants to try to make sure that Felicia's on their side, as does Cirie. Again, Cirie and Felicia not necessarily on the best of terms right now, and they're still not going to be after this conversation, but Cirie's trying to do what she can to build up a little bit of trust back with Felicia again. So we've got that. Just trying to say, oh, we're on board. Just a bunch of stuff that Felicia's not going to buy. Jared is explaining to Felicia that Cameron, Felicia is still very concerned, and not concerned, very curious as to why in the heck was she put up on the block next to Izzy as opposed to Cirie. And it's making her think that Cirie is much tighter, and so she's explaining why and saying, I just don't know why I got put up. That's what's got me irritated. And Jared says, I talked to Cameron. I know exactly why you were put up, Felicia. And so he explains to her that Cameron put Felicia up next to Izzy because he wanted to make sure that Izzy went home and that no one was going to vote out Felicia. So it was just the easiest way to make sure Izzy went out the door. If he had put up Cirie instead, well, then suddenly there's a lot of people who may have wanted Cirie gone instead of Izzy, and therefore it's a lot more risky. And it was all about getting Izzy out. It had nothing to do with Felicia whatsoever. That's the way Jared's explaining it. If I recall, it was Cameron saying, you don't go for the head, you go for the limbs first. And Felicia and Jared are Felicia and Izzy are the limbs, and Cirie's the head. It doesn't matter. Jared's trying to explain some of this game to Felicia and make sure she's okay with it and feeling better about what happened that whole week. Because they would just soon have her not continue to ask questions about that week, considering that they basically flipped or wanted to flip and save Izzy and send Felicia home instead. So they're just ready to move on from that whole week. All right, we got Cameron and Cirie talking a little bit. Cameron saying, look, I promised Jared, he said, only one of us is coming back in, either Jared or myself. And Jared made me promise, and I'm certainly willing to do it, that if it's me coming back in and Jared goes home, that I will do everything I can to protect you and fight for you, Cirie. And he said, I promised him I would do it. I will do it. So I just need you to know that I'm not coming after you if I come back in the house. Is that the case? I don't think so. But now Jared did ask him to promise that. Will he honor that commitment? Maybe not so much, but he is telling Cirie that. To make sure that if he does come back in, maybe Cirie's a little less likely to come after him if she thinks that he's pledged to, that he's her knight in shining armor, ready to protect her. All right, he's also telling Suri that his plan would be to make the other side. His plan, if he stays in the house, is going to be to make the other side think that he has joined them, that he's all on board with Corey and America and Matt and Jag coming after Suri and Felicia and Nicole and all. He says, that's my plan. I'm going to make them think that. And then I'm going to blow up that side from the inside. He said, so if you hear talk about that, just know it's part of a plan. It's not real. I want to work with you, but I'm going to make them think that I'm working with them. And so Suri said, okay, well, glad you told me that. And yeah, if I hear that, I'll just know it's part of a plan. So they're talking. I don't know if Suri believes Cameron, and we got a lot of games to play left. All right, sure enough, we have that conversation, and sure enough, Cameron is now making a pitch to Matt, saying, look, I want to work with you and Jag going forward. Y'all are my guys. I'm ready to go after that other side of the house. Is he serious, or is this part of the plan that he just explained to Suri? Nah, I don't know. How could he? A target-rich environment for Cameron. If he comes back in, there's a lot of people he wants to go after. So just expect chaos. Well, whichever way he goes, expect chaos. All right. So he is pitching to Matt. He's also doing this. He's saying, look, Matt, he said, I know there's going to be pressure. Whether Jared or I, either one, come back in, there's going to be a lot of pressure to just send us right back out the door. I get it. I understand it completely. He says, but here's the thing, Matt, just give me 1 week. Just give me protection, safety for 1 week. One, it'll let me make jury, and I need it for financial reasons. It would make such a huge difference. But more than important than that, give me 1 week, Matt, and in that 1 week, I will prove that that you can trust me, that I'm on your side. And I think he mentions again that, look, I had one target. It was Izzy. I did what I needed to get her out. Bring me back in. I'll fight for the other side. I'll make it happen just like I did before. So he's hard pressing Matt on that. Matt is saying, seeming to be kind of on board as well, and saying, yeah, you were kind of painted as a bad guy. And Matt's saying Suri really did a lot to make it seem like you were the bad guy in the house. And so, yeah, we kind of all voted against you because of that. But it was Suri that was doing that. So just understand that, Cameron. All right, we've got Jared sulking a little bit more. He's telling Blue that he doesn't even care anymore. He doesn't want to talk to any people anymore. He's saying, I don't have a decision to make at this time. It's all Cameron. He'll play the game or he won't play. It doesn't matter what I say between now and then as to whether I get in the house. I don't even want to talk to people anymore. It's not about getting into the house. It's about the fact that if you get into the house, you got a whole lot of damage control to take care of, Jared, if you're going to get back and actually play this game going forward. And he'll pick up on that, and eventually he'll start talking a little bit more. But for right now, he's having his down moment. A lot of us in the house have down moments. This is his, and it's understandably so why it would happen if he just lost some of these competitions to Cameron and seeing potentially the end of his game. But yeah, he's down Blue. I don't even want to talk to anyone anymore. I get that. All right. Now, he does say that if he doesn't want to talk to anyone, not just because he doesn't want to talk to him, but also because he says if the wrong person or if a person cracks a smile at him, he may get kicked out of the house. In other words, he may go off on him, and who knows what would happen. So he's saying it's just better for me not to talk to anyone at all right now. He's complaining about Bowie Jane because just silly stuff. Apparently Bowie Jane came in, I think, the comic room, and Suri and Felicia were in there, and she said something like, hello, ladies. And even though Jared was there and is not a lady, she just said, hello, ladies. And that upset him. And he said something to her about, what if I came in and started complaining about your broad shoulders or something? And he's complained to Blue, saying that she's, I don't know, he's a little critical of her image a little bit. And he just seemed to take it personally that she didn't say hello, ladies and guys, and just said hello, ladies. Yeah, he calls everyone bro. So just, I think there's a little room for not worrying about it too much. But he's a little upset about that as well. So not happy with Bowie Jane either. All right, we've got Matt and Jag talking about a possible alliance with Cameron again, just like Cameron pitched to them. Cameron's saying he wants Felicia gone next week. That is who his target's going to be. He wants Felicia out the door. So forget all this stuff that Jared just said about, yeah, he just put you up there because he knew that would send Izzy out the door. He wants Felicia gone. Jag understands that, but Jag said, I want Cirie gone. Cirie's done me dirty. That's who I want gone. All right, the backyard is open. Everyone, for the most part, heading outside, enjoying a little outdoors while they can. All right, we've got Cam talking to Jag. He's telling Jag he doesn't want Felicia on jury. So a little bit more reasoning behind why he wants Felicia out the door. He's saying she's too emotional. Felicia had told Corey earlier in the day that if she's on the jury, she's not making her jury decision based on comp wins, who dominated competitions, any of that. Hers is all going to be about relationships, and it's going to be all about who started up a whole bunch of bleep. That's what she's doing. I understand where Cameron's coming from here. I could see Felicia being a very bitter juror when it comes to deciding who gets that $750,000. And Cameron's not thinking that a bitter juror necessarily is going to be sending the money to him. So he's ready to get her out before jury. Absolutely. He's also trying to make that issue. He's saying, look, Felicia and Nicole, you could be looking at the final two right here. Those two could make it to the end if we don't try to stop them as quickly as we can. Matt comes back and says, Cameron says, what do you think about that? Matt says, yeah, I'm sold. So Matt, at least verbally saying he's on board to get out Felicia. All right, Nicole and Felicia sitting out by the pool, talking a little bit, enjoying the outdoors and doing a little strategy planning. Nicole is saying that Matt and Jag have been criticizing Cameron all day, but that they're also back in the storage room or somewhere in the house and telling him all about the brown sugar babes. Nicole is not happy that word got out about that alliance that she was a part of, that it got spilled. And there was a lot of talk about who revealed it and when did they do it and all that. Jared told Corey. Corey'd forgotten about it, and then he remembered it and spilled the beans. So she's saying, yeah, they're back there. They're telling us how they're just so against Cameron, but now they're back there, the three of them just talking away and talking about our alliance and everything else. Nicole is really going off on the other side, not happy with the way things have been going right now. And she's saying that Jag and Matt and Corey, America and Bowie are all, none of them are very smart. They're all liars. They've just gotten lucky a couple of times. That's why they're in the position that they are. So she's not giving them a lot of credit for the way the house is set up right now. She's not very happy. So we've got that. All right, we got Cameron talking to Jared. These two, they're sitting out in the backyard together, and yeah, a bonding experience. They certainly not huge fans of each other, but the fact that now they're both in the same situation, I think that creates a little empathy with each other, and it seems like they're talking nicely and getting along, which I like to see. But Cameron's telling Jared that he has decided to do the competition. Jared says, yeah, and I didn't even ask you because I knew. And he says, yeah, I can't. If I win or lose, I want it to be at my hands. That's the way it is. And Jared saying, yeah, champion does that. Champion wants the ball. Champion wants to take that last shot. And I understand that you're doing it and go for it. And he says, congrats on how well you've played. And they're both saying, whoever gets back in makes something happen. And so they understand. They're not going to be fighting against each other in the house anymore. It's one or the other. So they are talking about the next round of this competition. I think it'll be some kind of speed timed event, because I think it's going to be live on Thursday. So I assume it's going to be some kind of timed event. And again, I'm hearing this talk about a puzzle, maybe like Caitlin Herman did. We'll see. All right. We've got Matt and Jared talking a little bit. I tell you, a lot of conversations. I'm getting through them though. All right. Matt and Jared are talking. Matt's telling Jared that he deserves to make jury, that he's played a good game. Yeah, he's been playing hard. He's been trying to make he's been leading the way. He hadn't just been sitting back. So he says, you deserve to make jury, Jared. And Matt's saying that if he wins HOH and Jared is still in the house, Matt is not going to put him up. He says, you're safe if I get HOH. I'm not going to put you up. You deserve jury. I just want you to know that, Jared. Jared's saying, look, I'm not coming for you, Matt, either. And he's really very, very insistent, sounding very sincere, saying, yeah, there are a lot of people I could go after. I've got other targets. I am not coming after you, Matt. We're good. We're good. Brother, you're good. Yeah. So they're promising safety to each other at this point in time. Jared does ask Matt at one point, says, look, Blue and this whole new 7 deadly sins, bumping me and Cirie, adding Blue and Corey and America, I think, he's saying, was was Blue part of that? When did Blue know about that and everything? When was she involved in it? And just as Matt starts to answer, he says, I don't want to throw anyone under the bus. And then he says, but in her defense, and then the feed's cut. So we didn't know what Matt said, if he threw her under the bus or if he defended Blue. So we don't know. But later he told Blue that he had told Jared that Blue knew about this change to the 7 deadly sins, but she wasn't part of it. She wasn't involved with it, didn't have any say. She just found out about it a little bit later. Now, I don't know if that's going to make Jared happy or not. The fact that Blue even knew about it is not going to make him happy, because he's already very upset that she had information that she didn't give to him to begin with. But I think Matt thinks by saying she wasn't actually involved with it, that's going to defend her a little bit. I think Jared's still a little upset. All right, we've got Jared and Jag talking. At one point, again, Jared said he wasn't going to talk to anyone, but Cirie gave him a little pep talk, said, you got to get there. You got to keep fighting. And so that's what he's doing. So Jared and Jag are talking. Maybe not the best conversation. Jag is talking about how mistreated he has been in this house, bullied and lied to, and that he just wanted to be loyal to the Alliance and it didn't do any good for him, and how it's been difficult. Jared is talking about how many times he had defended and protected Jag. I don't remember that many times, but he's saying, I watched out for you, the Jag. He said, there's plenty of opportunities I had to go after you, and I didn't. So, I hope you understand that I'm one of your biggest advocates. I was really, really fighting hard for you, Jag. So he's saying that. Jared's saying that, look, here's the thing. He said, I deserved a conversation before y'all threw me under the bus. I at least deserve to be told to have that conversation. Jag comes back and says, well, no one had a conversation about me before they voted me out 10-0. So he's kind of pushing back a little bit to that. Jared at one point does say, look, I've got another target in mind. I'm not going to be putting you up, Jag, if I get back into the house. Maybe you're not real happy with me, but I'm not putting you up. So I've protected you. I'll continue to protect you, Jag. So he says that, and then he finishes up by telling Jag, said, look, just be up front with me from now on. Let me know what is going on. Jared's all about the information. All right, we've got Corey talking to the cameras. He's saying, look, he feels like he's in a pretty good position. He said, I think I'm America's number one. I better be. I think I'm America's number one. I think I'm Bowie Jane's number one. I'm probably Jag's number two. I'm in pretty good with Matt as well. And he's saying, so I feel like I'm in a good position with a lot of people in his house. He's saying, I do think I need to work with Cameron. Cameron's much better for my game than Jared is. So I maybe don't want to do it, but I think I need to work with Cameron. All right, we got America and Matt and Corey at the hammock, sitting there talking. Matt is saying that he and Jared had a conversation, that they agreed to chill and enjoy this week before then deciding if they're going to take shots at each other going forward if Jared gets back into the house. But for this week, they're just going to play it chill. America is saying that Jared told her that he didn't even want to talk to her today. Corey is saying that Jared had said at one point he wanted to talk to him, but then he never approached Corey. So neither one of them have had any kind of conversation with Jared at all, apparently. Corey is scared about Jared coming back, thinks that's going to be much worse than Cameron coming back. And they're also talking about Nicole and her kind of declaring her position by gunning for them in the HOH competition. So that's certainly a concern as well, and where she is in this game. All right, we've got Blue and Matt and America and Corey talking. Blue is saying that Felicia and Bowie are feeling really hurt and upset with Cirie. Again, is Blue doing this to try to make it seem like Cirie and Felicia are not together and that Cirie's off on her own, and therefore why would you target her if Jared does go home and it's just Cirie left? So yeah, Felicia isn't even on board Cirie, so just leave her alone, right? Blue's telling the others this. Not all of that. So that's just implication. She's saying that Cirie and is not on good terms with Bowie, Jane, and Felicia. All right, we've got Blue and Jared talking to finish this thing out. Blue is saying that she had 3 conversations with Cirie today. Not 1, not 2, but 3 conversations with Cirie that they kind of hashed things out, that they're on good terms with each other and everything else. And so she thinks that was very important. Jared thinks that's fine, but he also is talking about his plans going forward. He says, man, if I survive this thing, if I get back into the house, I am not going to be nice, and I'm going to scare the bleep out of some people inside this house. If I survive, they better be ready because I'm coming in hard and I'm not playing nice whatsoever. Hey, we'll see. Jared or Cameron, who's going to create the most chaos in this house? I think the rest of the people in this house are worried about either person coming back. Well, it's not. At least it's not Izzy, right? But yeah, I think either one of them could create quite a bit of chaos. But most of the house is thinking Cameron is maybe a little safer for him. We don't know if that's the case or not. Again, Cameron's saying that maybe he'll blow things up from that side and actually work with Sari. You know, we got a lot. We got 4 or 5 days to discuss it over and over and over again. And I'll be there for all of it. All right, guys, y'all have a fantastic Saturday. Giga Maggies, ready for a little football. Y'all have a great Saturday. I'll be back tomorrow morning. There's no veto competition to give you the results of, so I don't know what's going to be taking place today. A lot of conversations, but I'll be back to tell you about all of them come Saturday. Until then, SKD 143. Cheers, my friends.